Hey, TSTL listeners. Are you an indie author with a book to promote? An artist or designer trying to sell bookish swag? Are you a book talk influencer in need of more followers to do your influencing? Well, TSTL would love to help you out. Hi, I'm Becky. I'm the host of Too Stupid to Live, and I love building new connections with the bookish and sexual health communities, whether it's for sponsorships at amazingly reasonable and negotiable rates, or guest and topic ideas for TSTL's Extra Spice and Hot as Hell episodes. So if you want to hook up, visit tstlpodcast.com/contact, or you can email the show at tstlpod@gmail.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Too Stupid to Live, a podcast about romance novels usually $5 and under. I'm your host, Becky Feldman, and I know that many of you are probably in the midst of like a winter storm at the moment. So I hope with today's episode being extra spicy, it can add like all of the heat that you need in all the right ways. Except for the weather, because I literally have no control over that. I'm really sorry you're cold right now. But look, what I do have control over is how much fun today's episode is. So yes, today is a TSTL with a little extra spice episode. These are episodes where I chat about romance novel adjacent topics. And today we are discussing the Netflix adaptation of The People We Meet on Vacation. So obviously I needed a guest who is like not only a romance reader, but someone who just has her finger on the pulse of pop culture itself. So Torry, the host of Ready to Be Petty and Ready to Be Romanced, is here today to help me unpack The People We Meet on Vacation. And yes, I am really proud of the way I used unpack just now. It feels really original and unique and smart. And I'm sure no one has ever like used the term unpack to review this movie. Anyway, look, I had so much fun chatting with Torry. She always brings such a great energy. So please enjoy this episode of TSTL with a little extra spice, a review of The People We Meet on Vacation. Torry from Ready to Be Romanced, welcome back to this podcast, Too Stupid to Live.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad you're back. I consider you like my connection to the younger generation and what's cool.
I love that. I appreciate that because I feel like I don't get that very much anymore.
Really? Like,
yes.
When people are like talking about like, well, you know, the younger, like, you know, you're only a few years younger than me, but like when people are like talking about like, well, people who are a few years younger than us, like, and I need a reference, I always go to you. I'm like, well, like Torry loves pop culture. So, and I mean, they all do.
I love that. I work at a university, so most people that I work with, obviously you can go to school at any age, but most people I work with are like between 18 and 22. So I feel like I'm never the person that people are coming to for like what, like your hand on the pulse. So totally. I like that.
But do you seek them out for like anything like, hey kids, what's 6'7"? I have no idea what that is. I just heard it yesterday.
Seriously, I have to be like, what? Sometimes I'm like, can you Google this like acronym for me? Whereas I feel like before I was like making the acronyms.
See, that's a sign you know you're aging. It's like you used to make the acronyms and now you're Googling that's a sign we're becoming adults.
And it's bad. Like I'm Googling most of them.
Yes. Yeah, I've had to Google them too. And it's like I feel like lately, like the websites when I Google them, it's like idiot.com. Like it's like something like really insulting. You know what I mean? Of like slang for old people.com. Like it's terrible.
No, seriously. I looked one up the other day and it was just like, not in case you missed it, but it was something like, I don't know, IRC or something like that. And I like had no idea what it was. Like it feels so stupid.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. It's like I like to think like yes, it could be our age, but also there's like I feel like there's like this like cool world of like tech people who just like they move so fast that they can't use full things and they just have this like shortened abbreviated language that like us slow people will never
understand.
Never understand. Okay, so you have two podcasts. You have Ready to Be Petty, you have Ready to Be Romanced. Tell me about like the latest that is going on with those two podcasts.
Yeah, it's funny how so much of them have been like intersecting. Like when I started Ready to Be Romance 2 years ago, I was like, which is where I review romance novels. I was like, there's probably, other than like movie adaptations or TV show adaptations, like there's probably very little crossover in the pop culture celebrity news space.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not the case anymore. Like this movie is a good example of it, and all of the heated rivalry stuff.
Yes. Yeah. I'm sure. Have you been overworked and overtired? Like, we need you now more than ever.
No, I know. I do feel like some days I will get like 5 texts from different friends in different social circles being like, so what's your thoughts on like the latest Hudson and Connor like headline and stuff like that? And I'm like, this does intersect my two favorite like hobbies.
Yes, it absolutely does. Like, I feel like I sometimes like when I'm like watching like the like with the two stars of heated rivalry and like kind of like seeing them do their hijinks and like kind of like do their hijinks like I don't know, like do you see a correlation to like the romance world in a way? Like how are they interconnected, I guess is my question.
Yeah, I guess that I think for me, it's their celebrity status. Like they have had a rise into like truly like the moment, like A-list celebrity status
Mm-hmm.
in under 2 months. And I think we've only really seen that with like a handful of TikTok stars in the last like 5 years.
Right. And like TikTok stars can only go like my parents know about these two boys now, you know, and that's like,
exactly. And that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's mainstream. I feel like we could talk about some influencers that have kind of reached maybe that status, but not this fast and not this mainstream. And so I think that that's been interesting just to see non-romance readers watch and enjoy the show too.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, that's been a lot, but like, I'm happy. Like
Yes.
I'm thrilled we're here, but it's just funny to see like the rest of the world's kind of catch up with romance. I feel like you probably feel that too. Like yeah, over the last 5 years, it's the landscape has changed so drastically and for better or for worse in some cases.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's interesting. Like, I'll like, you know, someone will say something like, "What's the deal with hockey romance?" And I'm like, "Where have you been for the last 10 years?" You know what I mean? And then I'm like realizing, oh, you're not a romance reader, you know, or which is okay, you know. But just like seeing all these people just like absolutely fascinated that other people are fascinated, and I'm like, "Welcome to the party. It's fun."
No, literally, I'm like, we've been here. Like we've been here. So that I think that part of it is like really fun. Just maybe people will start putting some respect on romance name.
Totally. And I'm so curious to hear your opinions based on the heated rivalry adaptation versus the movie we're going to discuss, People We Meet on Vacation. Because heated rivalry, I think, is one of the best romance novel adaptations I think that has been put out in general, and I mean that over any of the Jane Austen films. Sorry, I said it.
Yes. And you're gonna catch fire for that one.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, what are you gonna do? Beat me up. I don't care. I'll take that punch. I will die on this hill. So, like, do you think that, like, with the way that, like, that romance has been, like, respectfully, I think, adapted, are we gonna? Do you think, like, how do you think that's going to affect, like, the pop culture world and, like, what we're gonna, like, see in the future?
Yeah. I don't know if this is like, I would say Bridgerton was a major turning point in 2020 for like serious adaptations with money and good acting and budget for costuming and music and advertisements and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's the one that really sticks out in my head as like a big turning point. But I think like we've seen with The Summer I Turned Pretty for sure. And then Heated Rivalry. And even all of the Emily Henry books have been optioned for adaptations. And I think mostly with Netflix. And so they'll also have money behind them. So I think like we're getting the quality that it deserves. And I think I think also just we had such a lull in like rom-coms. Like I felt like this movie filled a good rom-com slot, which was different than Heated Rivalry, obviously.
For sure.
But it's funny because I think that where Heated Rivalry had its moment where it kept so many of the micro details people love in books, this one didn't. So it is interesting to see two, again, I think really good quality adaptations, but done really differently.
100%. And I think that like I know you covered People We Meet on Vacation on your show, both the movie and the book. I've read the book and watched the movie, and just it was interesting to watch after seeing like Heated Rivalry and being like you said, like all of these like micro moments, you know, being translated to then watch People We Meet on Vacation, and to see it adapted in a way that, like most books are adapted into movies, especially if they're rom-coms, and I'm like, they did a good job, but like, are we spoiled from Heated Rivalry?
I think we are. Like, I really think we are. I think that they nailed a lot of the really small details, even like down to like the ginger ale stuff, like all of those like tiny moments that fans of romance really pick up in books, because you can be that detail oriented in books. That's why I think I prefer reading than watching TV or movies.
Right there with you.
Yeah. And so I think we are a little bit spoiled, but I also think like one was a TV show, one was a movie. So you like in movies, you do have to cut things that maybe if they did a TV show, they wouldn't have had to. So it's like not apples to apples, but I think I'm optimistic about the way like things are going.
Totally. I am completely with you on this. And it's interesting you mentioned that, because like I feel like I love books if they're adapted into a mini series or a TV series versus if they're adapted into a movie. Because like if they're books that I've read, you know what I mean?
Yes.
If they're not books I read, I really don't give a shit. But like, if it's a book that I love and I read, you know, I prefer it in the TV show format, just because you are going on such a vulnerable, intense journey with a character in any romance or piece of erotica or like anything, you know, and it's different than just like watching someone on screen go through the journey. There's a disconnect there. And so I sometimes think with like TV shows, given that it's like allowed to be spread out, it like gives you the time to like establish that like intimate connection you have with like a protagonist.
Totally. Like I do think one of the things that they like really skipped over was kind of the inner reflection and the journey Poppy really goes on to make like the relationship with Alex really work. And I think like skimming over that again, like it's good for a rom-com. We talked about this on my show, like some details like just don't suit that style, like style of movie. Like, can you really get into some of the really sad stuff, like his mom's passing and stuff in kind of like a sugary poppy movie? Like
totally. Because like one of my favorite things about the book is like the two main characters, Poppy and the guy, like they're like not like really fucked up, but I mean really fucked up in a way that's human that we don't see in the movie.
Yes.
Poppy, like they both have like trauma, and obviously like I'm sure that had to be cut out with the movie, but it just like got me thinking, like, can we have a rom-com with characters and still have like what they've been through growing up? Do you know what I mean? Like their real insecurities. Like I know that like Alex, like there was a thing of like he like in the book he's like he blames like being his mom, or like, you know, he blames pregnancy for his mother's death, and he has like a real fear of it. And you have the pregnancy scare, which like in the movie like kind of felt a little weird, versus the book where it was like, okay, this is all making sense the way he's reacting, you know, like he's severely traumatized, you know.
Yeah, I think that that's the like hard balance. I'm trying to think, is there a good rom-com that has some of this depth to it? Like this is technically a When Harry Met Sally
Mm-hmm.
inspired book and movie. So I was trying to think, is that one a good comparison or like
Yeah, I think so. Because it's like, okay, what are we comparing? Like, is it the friends to lovers? Like, are they going to get together? Are we comparing like the flashbacks? Like it is interesting. And I think that, like, okay, if it's like if it is Harry Met Sally and we're looking at like these two friends who are clearly in love with each other, they're going to get together in the end. I think this movie like absolutely nailed it.
mm-hmm.
um I think in terms of like a character exploration though, I'm kind
Yeah.
like I think people who have read the book are going to be like I liked the movie because I read the book and I know why they do things, and I'm like curious about people who didn't read the book and seeing the characters make these choices. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. So I watched the movie with my friend and her husband,
Mm-hmm.
and my friend had read the book
Mm-hmm.
and her husband had not.
Mm-hmm.
And he had some questions. Like he was like, "Oh, why are they like I can't remember specifically kind of what questions he had, but like there was a few times he paused and he was like, "Oh, why are they like going to this?"
Mm-hmm.
Because of like he just didn't have the details. Where you're right, like everything made sense to me because we had watched or read the book, but I do think like yeah, that maybe you would have some questions or maybe you wouldn't because it is supposed to be just like a fun like
Sure.
90-minute movie or whatever, but
Totally,
like
totally. Like, yeah, we are watching it. It's two very funny, good-looking actors and great
yeah.
locations. Like, it has everything you want. There was just a moment where it was like Alex, like when he proposed. I'm jumping to the third act breakup, but like when he proposes to his girlfriend after the
Mhm.
pregnancy scare, he looks like an asshole, and like he looks like a total like manipulative, gaslighting asshole in the movie, not a guy who's like hurt. And I'm like, oh, this doesn't. I know why he's doing it, but it just he. I don't know. Like, do I feel as sympathetic for his character watching him than reading him?
Yeah, I think that that was like I think the two things that people really had problems with is that scene where it looks like it's kind of like he's trying to like get revenge and proposes to
Yes.
Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then obviously the cutting of the sex scene, which we have to obviously talk about because I
Yes.
think
Yes.
that also has parallels with heated rivalry of why maybe people are like extra upset. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I totally agree that like in the book you get the that he wants to settle down and have a family life, to be close to his family, to kind of have what his mom didn't get to
Mm-hmm.
have, and like that just that importance of like his nuclear family that he really wants so badly for himself. That just like didn't come across in the movie. He just kind of seemed like a boring like
Dude.
risk adverse guy. Yeah.
Yeah, which
Like,
and the actor did a great job and he was
yeah.
absolutely fun to watch, but I think like in the book, the Alex in the book, he like raised his four brothers or whatever. And that
Mhm.
just like makes you an entire like it yes, it makes you risk averse and you're like, oh god, don't touch that, don't eat that, because you're raising four kids when you're too young. But like it also like I don't know, like I'm like, oh, I wish like a line or so could have been like it's like
Yeah.
I don't know, like it's like that we didn't I don't need to see a scene where it's like his brothers running around or anything, but it just like those tiny details that just shaped his character so well in the book.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I think it also just does a disservice to Emily Henry because I think that this is actually where she shines,
Hmm.
is that she includes so much detail about her characters and all the side characters.
Yes.
And it's funny because I usually like hate that in books. I'm like, ugh, just get to the like
Hmm.
get to the main characters, get to the sex scenes, like let's keep this moving.
Hmm.
But I actually really appreciate it in a lot of her books. So yeah, I felt like it kind of did a disservice to her writing.
Yes.
Um
Hmm.
Again, enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
movie. Like we are literally like picking it apart. Like we are taking something that's a lot of fun and just being like, what can we take apart? But we're just two gals talking about a movie we watched. What do you want us to do?
Exactly.
It's funny you mentioned the side characters because like this movie, I think like I'm curious if like one of the reasons to get more viewership was like the cameos with like Molly Shannon
Right. Yeah.
and Alan Ruck and the Lucas Lucas Gage. Lucas
Yeah.
Gage. Yes. See, this is why I need you. And with the exception of like the Lucas character, I guess I'm thinking of her parents. I love those two actors so much. But again, like Poppy's backstory was that like she has siblings. She feels really She has twins. She has two younger or older brothers. I forget which. Her parents are hoarders. And her kind of like trauma is that they were like ostracized from the entire neighborhood. And she was really self conscious of that. And they kind of make it seem like in the movie, okay, a bad
Yeah.
rumor happened
Yes.
when she was in high
Yes.
school.
Yes.
But was it enough to kind of warrant her need to, you know, her compulsion to be alone and to travel like as much as it did in the book?
100%. We talked about this extensively too. And like, I kind of feel like, I know, because I feel like I was really downplaying maybe some of the bullying aspect, because like it is awful what happened to her. I don't wish that upon anybody.
No.
But like, yeah, it's not enough to be like, I can't be seen in Linfield and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like it was like kind of one of those things where it was like it wasn't like in the book you kind of got a sense of like she never felt like she was at home with her parents, and that's a very like sad, tragic thing. And while I love Alan Ruck and I love Molly Shannon, here we had like really good, loving parents, which is fun to watch. I love those two actors. It's a good scene, you know. But did it do Poppy a disservice in terms of like why she does what she does? Like, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I am curious because they did get like pretty like famous actors to do some of these cameos. So I am so interested in their casting process, because Emily Bader, like she had a lot of success with My Lady Jane,
which I love that show. Such
love.
Another great romance adaptation. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It was done with care and money and all of that stuff. And Tom Blythe, obviously he was in the Hunger Games prequel, which is huge, but they're still like relatively unknown actors, which I appreciate. So I know I was so curious about why they chose these cameos and why they changed they really lightened up, you're right, the trauma, so then the stakes felt too low.
Yeah, it kind of just felt like, well, where is this coming from other than like, I mean, we all have wanderlust, we all want to be travel birds. I mean, I know when I was that age and I'm like, oh, I want to get out of my small town and see the world, like we all have that. But like for her level of compulsion to like make it her career, you know, drop out of school, all of that, like, or college, you know, it was just an interesting like, oh, like things, it seemed like she like had a pretty, I don't know, pretty well, just based on that one scene, you know, of her parents like joking and being there for her and stuff.
Yeah, and being like in a completely normal house, like honestly, like kind of like upper middle class, like
nice house.
Yeah, like a beautiful house, and like it seemed like a beautiful family. So yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that the other piece is like this spans, I think they changed it actually to 10 years in the movie, but it's like, I think in the book it's like 12 years.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you also have to believe that there is something so vulnerable and sensitive and difficult that is keeping them apart for 12 years, where they only have that one accidental kiss in Croatia. And then the rest, they've like never talked about any romantic feelings or anything like that. So you also just have to believe that that could be true.
Right.
And I think in the movie, I was just like, it doesn't seem like they wouldn't be able to talk about something like that, I guess.
Totally. Like it kind of is like, it makes it seem like just the presence of the girlfriend, Alex's girlfriend is the issue. And like, granted, we see that in so many movies of just like the boring old, you know, whatever. And so like, yeah, but it really is like, it's like, it was difficult, like, after watching Heated Rivalry, where we're seeing these two characters, and what I love about romances, reading romances, is that a lot of the issues is the characters getting in their own way, which I relate to
Yes.
so much.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I love watching, I love reading, and so, like, we didn't really see that as much. And I'm like, oh, can we see that in rom-coms? Like, can we see that in movies? You know what I mean? In funny movies.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. I am curious to see how other like adaptations will go in the Emily
Mhm.
Henry universe, because I think that they're all kind of have the same similar vibe. Like the books
Yes.
really kind of follow a similar depth of trauma and
Mhm. Mhm.
but also laughs and giggles and fun flirtation and stuff. So
Mhm.
I am curious to see how they do it in the future, knowing that this is the feedback that the fans are saying.
Totally. Absolutely. Okay, so speaking of feedback, we gotta get to this sex scene. Um,
It's literally all I want to talk
yeah,
about.
like, I was I was stunned. And here's the thing. I don't even think I do love an Emily Henry book. Like, my perfect day is going for a walk and listening to an Emily Henry audiobook. Like, I think that is just, I love it. I don't consider them that sexy um at all. And
No.
so when the sex scene happened in the movie, that was just like even more unsexy. Like, not it was unsexy, but I was just like, wait a minute.
I was shocked.
We need something. Like, you need some it was like someone giving me like soup without salt in it, you know?
No, seriously. No, we're the same way, because I do have friends, and I'm always like, literally how and why, but I do have friends that like prefer kind of like closed door,
Mhm.
or the Emily Henry where there's like 1 to 2 sex scenes and that's it, where I'm like, if they're not fucking
No,
by
by
like,
page, yeah. No.
yeah, page 10, honestly.
Yeah, what
Like,
are we doing here, guys?
what
Yeah.
are we doing here? So I feel the exact same way. So then when I was like, okay, well, I know that there's going to be this really great, really beautiful, romantic, passionate sex scene, I was like, okay, well, we got one and can't wait for it. They also
Mhm.
like Tom Blythe, the actor that plays
Mhm.
Alex, hyped it up.
Gorgeous.
And
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
that's tough to hear. I think that makes it a little bit more like difficult to hear, because I also think if we had not just watched Heated Rivalry,
Mhm.
then maybe we would have been a little less upset. But sex is an important part in a lot of couple, not every, but a lot of couples stories, and um like it is important.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
I
to see
Yeah.
that was sad. Like,
Totally. And I feel that way, especially with the friends to lovers trope, because it's like sometimes, and if it's like rivals to lovers, it's like, oh, you guys hate each other so much, you're gonna have the best sex ever. When it's friends to lovers, it's like if the stakes feel so high. Like, if I was gonna hook up with my best friend, I'd be more nervous than if I were
that's a
gonna hook
good
up with my like
point.
complete enemy, you know? And so I
Right.
was like, yeah, we want to see, like, like, kind of get in there, get dirty, but like sexy, but like dirty, like.
Totally, totally. Yeah, I totally agree. And like, I think also one word I would use to describe this movie is tasteful. I think
Yes.
all of Emily Henry's books are tasteful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And but I even likened it to like The Summer I Turned Pretty, and like they had some great sex scenes or like hookup scenes
Yeah.
that I thought were really realistic, and they weren't, again, like overly raunchy or anything like that, but it was still, because it is an important part in these couples relationships. So yeah, it was just so crazy, because
Mm-hmm.
I also just thought, like, when you're doing an adaptation specifically, I do feel like you are kind of catering to the fans versus like original IP.
Right.
And I just thought, I was just so surprised, I think, because I just never even questioned that we wouldn't see like the full thing.
Totally. Because, like, I could be wrong. And again, people can punch me in the face for this opinion nonstop. But, like, part of the reason why Emily Henry became so part of the reason why romance became so popular in these last couple of years is the explicit sex scenes. Emily Henry's books has even though I consider them to be very tame, there's a level of explicit, kind of details featured in her books, which, depending on your cup of tea, could be very tittillating and is very tittillating. She is this very successful author. And so it was just so weird that part of the reason why I would think that her books are so successful is the fact that there's just detailed sex at all, that and they wouldn't include that in the movie, especially I had because with My Lady Jane, I thought they did the sex scenes phenomenally in that one. And I know that the actress isn't the same thing as a director writer, but I guess I was just curious. I was thinking oh, Emily Bader's going to be the romance novel adaptation actress, and she's going to lead the way, whatever. But that was just my strange hope, I guess.
I know. I feel like such a creep saying that. But you're right. I think the difference between other books is the sex element, and I do think that draws in a majority, not all, and not the only thing, but I do think that draws in a lot of kind of that audience. So it is a stylistic choice that I just didn't agree with. And I do think I'm just also just so confused because again I don't think it would have been we saw a bit of it, and I don't think it would have been like you're saying so super explicit, something in Game of Thrones or something like that that's violent or whatever. So I'm just I don't know why they just didn't include it, because would it really have changed the rating of the movie that much? Or I don't know, it just I don't know.
To be fair, I do think that even because it's I'm not oh, I want to see these actors who I just want, you know what I mean? I want to see these two people who are humans on their own, just obviously we don't want to put anyone in an uncomfortable situation, but things can there's showing sex and then there's showing horniness, and when you're showing horniness, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to show body parts, or
totally,
two people doing something. In the book, we have these inner monologues of just how horny they are for each other, and it's we could, whether it's through dialogue or through other means, I don't know, but you can show that this is a very sexual, even in heated rivalry, you have text messages, or you have this, you have that, even just characters just staring at each other, a gaze, let's kind of, it's this is horny, yes, and we don't really see that in this. I mean, they are two good looking people, so obviously they're horny for each other. We buy it, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point, because honestly, the buildup is usually better than the actual sex itself. So I actually totally agree with that. And I think a lot of the pieces that were missing because they cut the sex scene is some of the quotes. There are some really important quotes in the first and I guess only time they really have sex, about how long they've been waiting, and and how good it is for them, and how they're so surprised and happy and excited and stuff. And I think we just missed the exuberance that they at David's wedding, they were flying high in the books. Literally nothing could break their spirits. And that's why when they're at the airport leaving and Poppy makes that offhand comment, Alex takes great offense to it, because they were riding such a high, where it's obviously they still were in the movie, but it just didn't have the same, again, stakes, I think.
Yeah, again, Alex, I thought he looked like a total asshole. He's what's the next step? And they're on vacation, and she's I don't know. And then it's and then he's how can you not know? And it's you look insane. You look even people who have their day-to-day life mapped out until they're 90, would never even answer that question on a vacation drunk at someone's wedding.
Totally. At 3 a.m. you're the last two on the dance floor. That's not the place to have the conversation. Whereas in the book, when they're leaving, she basically says like, "Oh, I love like vacation flings." Basically,
Yes.
he's like,
Yeah.
"Huh?" Like,
And he's like, wait a minute. Yeah.
So it's so much more reasonable why he's so upset in the book than in both of these moments, the proposal and this wedding moment in the movie, that it was just kind of like, you don't look good in this light, and you're supposed to be the leading man.
Yeah. Like, okay, here's another difference from the book. If I remember correctly, in the book, they both know that they're meeting up in Palm Springs, right? And they're planning on staying together, which is a different mindset than what happens in the movie, where it's like, oh, there you are, you're kind of, you see them like caught off guard. And so it's like, in the book, as I interpreted it, I was like, they have this drive, the two of them, to rectify their friendship. They just don't know if this is a friendship or a romance, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that was it's like these motivations that we just didn't get to see in the movie. But you're right, because Poppy in the book is so desperate to reconcile with Alex. She makes this elaborate R&R like fake vacation trip thing, where that just doesn't happen, so that you don't see like that desperation. Like you get the spin class scene, but I'm like, that's me on like a Friday night, like melting down about some guy. Like that didn't seem that crazy.
Yeah, that's like, oh, okay, you had a first date with someone and you think you said something weird and you're like losing your mind, and like you're telling someone and they're like, please stop talking. Yes, 100%.
No, literally. Like I crash out like that like 3 times a week.
That's me to every Uber driver. And they don't even know me. And I'm like, listen, I need to tell you what happened.
No, I know. I'm like, can you like decipher this text message? Like 100%. That is exactly how I felt. So it was just like, you just couldn't see the desperation, and the way that she's like, I'm willing to like change, and I'm willing to like not apologize, but kind of like just change, I guess. Yeah,
like, or just like even for like him. Like settle, not settle in a settle, but I mean like
compromise, I guess. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
like learn how to nest, you know, with a person, and realizing that you like can do it. You know what else? Like this again, I am picking this apart. It doesn't matter. The wedding took place in Barcelona, right? Is that where? In the book, it takes place in Palm Springs, and not that like. We love Palm Springs is great. It's my parents live there, you know, whatever. It's like a great place to go to a destination, but it is a place where if you have a friend who is like getting married in Palm Springs, you are checking into the hotel, you are doing nothing but going to the wedding. It's really not like, if I were in Barcelona, I'd be like, okay, I need to do touristy stuff, and maybe this is just my opinion. I live so close to Palm Springs. That's why I'm kind of like, well, like in the book, there's really nothing to do in Palm Springs, so they have to like rectify their friendship. Like if I were in Barcelona, I'd be like, I'll deal with you later.
Yeah, I'm at La Sagrada Familia.
Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, that's interesting. I do think you're right, because they were stuck together essentially in Palm Springs, but they didn't really see much of each other. Like he drove her to her Airbnb, and then I think that they obviously saw each other at the wedding events. But you're right, they weren't forced to it wasn't that forced proximity,
right? Yeah. And another thing, again, one of my favorite lines in the book is when she's sick and they're supposed to go like Norway or whatever. Yes. And he goes to visit her and she's like, I'm sick. And he's like, have you been to the doctor? And she was like, I don't know how. Yes. I was waiting for that moment. I was so bummed it wasn't in the movie.
I know. And know what? I kind of gave her shit for that, because I was like, girl, come on.
Yeah.
But when you think of her backstory with her parents, it all makes perfect sense.
Yes.
So I do feel bad that I was giving her shit for that, but it's like, it does make sense. And she's like not letting someone take care of her. And that's what makes it so sweet and stuff. Yeah. And we just missed that. People really like when I'm cruising Reddit and stuff like
Mhm.
that, people love that scene specifically.
Yeah, it's so good. And it's also like they're like it was more I mean, obviously again, it's the book, not the movie. In the book it's like a lot more intimate to the point where it's like, oh, like stakes are being raised in terms of like, oh, they chat and they're like and it's like, okay, things are getting complicated in their friendship versus the movie. It's like, okay, he's a good friend, like he was there. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, I'm so curious of like what their decision making process was, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I
Totally.
do feel like when it was announced that this was optioned, like it must have been, I don't really know the movie making world, but like
Mm-hmm.
they obviously announced that and like there's no screenplay written at this point.
Right, right.
And I just feel like there would be 1,000 fan threads that they could have cruised through and just been like, okay, they really want a passionate sex scene. They
Mm-hmm.
want the really romantic quotes. They
Mm-hmm.
want the taking care of the sick person trope. Like,
Yes.
yeah. So that's so interesting to me of like, I wonder what they're, because they obviously like the team that made this movie is also I think like a good team, Yulin Kwong, who did the screenplay and stuff like that, who
Mm-hmm.
I think is a really good writer. And so I they obviously have sound reasoning for it. So I'm just like, what is
Sure, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it?
Oh my God, 100%. Yeah, yeah. Like, I guess, like, I live out in Los Angeles and just like sometimes, like, so I can only assume based on like my own experience, which is very small, which is like, oh, basically I feel like when I would get a note, like kind of like the note behind the note is we have to please everyone, and people are giving you a note based on that kind of notion of like we need to bring as many viewers to this as possible,
Yeah.
and so like I feel like, but then if like you get a note on one thing, it means like sometimes it means like another thing ripples, and then that won't make any sense. And so it's like it is like so interesting, like, okay, like I think that's why this conversation is so fascinating, because it is just like, oh, I wonder why that was changed, and like what was the thought process, what's the fear behind it, is it a fear of vulnerability, like who knows,
Yeah. Yeah. Or is it, yeah, like, is it that it got picked up by companies that are expecting a rom com
Mm-hmm.
and they want a rom com that,
Right.
yeah, often
Yeah.
doesn't have anything super serious in it.
Totally, totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so I feel like a big portion of this movie or a big, like, kind of on my kind of algorithm, the videos I've been seeing again and again are the dance scene in New Orleans. What did you think of that sequence?
I I'm so jealous of Emily Bader, who looks so cute
Yes.
in her costume. I also am always so jealous with movies when they're doing costumes because they could spend $1 billion.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
like, man, it's like I'm not spending that money on those silver high heels that I would wear once. And so I
No.
was like seething with jealousy is the first thing. But I think that this really showed off their chemistry.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like, and just how, also like that they're really good actors.
Yes.
Because I
Mm-hmm.
think like especially Alex's role, I don't think gave a lot for Tom Blythe to work with.
Sure, sure. Yeah, you really
Yeah.
saw like his comedic kind of side. You really saw Weird Alex in it, like it was a lot of fun.
It was super fun. And it's like the perfect, I feel like again, every rom-com has to have a music or dance number.
Yes.
Like that is, I feel like, kind of a trope of those types of movies. So
Mhm. Mhm.
I enjoyed it. I love movies that like make us travel all over the place.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
For
yeah.
sure. I
Yeah.
do I do love the like my favorite part about that sequence, and this was in the book but in a different trip, where they are pretending to be a couple to get like free drinks. And so I have a few questions for you as
Yeah.
to, if you were in this situation, how
Yes.
successful would you be? So, thinking about like
Yes.
your natural ability of persuasion as well as your acting skills, like
Yeah.
you would need to use for an entire evening. Maybe you're a little tipsy. You and your best friend are in a bar and you have to pretend that you're engaged for these free drinks. We're going to find out how successful you would be. So first, you get into the bar and you see that there are 2 bartenders there. One looks relatively new, kind of eager to please. The other one looks like they've worked at this establishment for a really long time, but seems very friendly. They're not like disgruntled. It's like, which bartender would you go to?
I would have to go for like the easy, easy kill. I think it depends on how am I doing an accent?
I have a question for that. Yeah, that's coming.
Okay.
That's coming. Okay.
So yeah, I'm chatting up the easy kill of a bartender. Okay. I would have to.
You're absolutely right. Like you want to get like, okay. So in the moment you start speaking in a dialect. Like you would you do something like, would you do it from like a place where you're from, or do you think that like you would just pick up like do like a British accent, like
all of a sudden I'm cheerio, like
exactly, yeah, like which do you think you would choose in the moment?
I know that I would go British, Scottish, Irish, Southern,
yes.
But should I know? I am the worst accents ever. I go in and out. I'm thinking I'm doing a great Aussie accent and I sound like
yeah.
Like just absolutely not. Brooklyn, like am I from New York? Like but right. I think the easiest probably would be, it would probably be like a regional US accent, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what she did. And like I feel like if I were, you're absolutely right. It does depend on the context. It does depend on how much I've had to drink and how confident I'm feeling in myself and how much I want these free drinks. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like a part of me would start doing like an SNL character and just like see what happens.
Me too. Actually, that is like so fun to do. When I watched this, I was like, I feel like I used to do this all the time in maybe not high school, but university.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's bring this back. This is like
I think it's so fun. Like I used to do that in college too, like just like give fake names or like, pretend I was like I went to Emerson in Boston and I used to pretend I went to Harvard all the time. And
I would do that too. I would do that too. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been times where I've been in like Uber like rides and stuff like that, or like people have just asked me questions and they just assumed like that I went to a certain school, or like I think I was in LA once and the Uber driver was just like asking me like what I like to do for fun and stuff. I'm like, oh, he thinks I live here.
Oh,
and then I just kind of like went along with it.
Yeah,
but like,
and it was cool.
Yeah. So it's like I feel like you have to choose something that you can share. Like if you lived in Boston, Harvard is like a good close, like adjacent, where you can like you would know a bit about the area and stuff.
Totally. Yeah, like if they were like, oh, what's a good restaurant, blah blah blah, you'd be like, yes, I know. Yeah, for sure. So you like, it's like coming up with like a good lie. And okay, you are now given, so like let's say they ask you what your name is, and you have to give a fake name for yourself and for your partner. Do you choose like an amazing name that like you've always wanted, or like a name from a character like you loved growing up, or like do you do what I would do, which I would just be like, I'm Sally, this is Bob, bye. Like
I think Sally, Bob, Steven, whatever, like I think that is the smart, like that is, if we are trying to logically trick these people, yes, that is the smart thing to do. I would be like, I'm Valentina I'm from Spain.
Yes.
I would be like, 100% I'm adopting a full different personality and name, and because I feel like that's part of the character work.
Yes. Yeah. Like, and it's also part of like kind of the fantasy of what you're doing is like you're playing make believe, but you're not a kid, and there's an end game in mind, which is free alcohol. So, it's just like you want to like kind of, and you're on vacation. You're here to have fun. I get it.
Have you ever tried like not maybe the fake personality thing, but like the we're engaged or like we're
I've never done that before.
I know I'm like I don't hang out with like I don't have any like platonic straight friends,
There
straight
was
men in my
right,
life.
yeah.
Like so there's no opportunities to do
Right.
this.
There was one time when I was in college and I was with my friend who was a girl, but like gay marriage was legal in Boston and
Mm.
so whatever. We it was a There was like a snowstorm and as the ice was melting, you could like walk out onto like one of the ponds and like people would do that. Apparently some guy went into Boston Commons, wrote out on or Boston Garden, wrote out "Will you marry me" in really big letters on the pond. And my friend and I were walking by and people were like, oh my god, oh my god. And so I just turned to her and I was just like,
Shut up.
yes I will. And then like she started laughing and people started looking and then they like saw that the two of us were just like silly little college girls and they were like, nah, they're fake.
That's so funny. I love that. That is so fun. I need that like joie de vivre back in my life.
It was like a pretty solid moment that I wish like if I wish I could have sold better and had gotten free drinks out of, but we were just like really cold getting to class.
I love that. That is so fun. Yeah, I definitely I feel like at clubs and stuff, if guys were talking to me that I wouldn't like I'd be pointing at my ring finger. Like I'd be putting a fake ring
Yes.
slipping one of my rings onto my ring finger, but nothing like extensive that would be like fun to play around with for the whole night.
Yeah, totally. Okay. And let's say that like this bartender is asking you and your best friend who you're in a fake relationship with, like how did you meet? And like the story that you would tell, are you the type of person, and you're making this up, would you tell like an overly detailed story or would you go more vague and just like hope that like no one pries? You know what I mean? Like asks more questions.
It's so funny because I'm a big like Survivor, Big Brother fan. So it's so funny because whenever you're asking me these questions, I'm thinking, well, if I was in the game of Survivor, I'd keep it vague and then redirect and ask them a question about themselves.
Totally. Or like in Traders or something. Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think the more fun, so I think that's the better strategic move, but the more fun thing to do is exactly what Poppy and Alex did. Trading off, making it more crazy as you go, and just saying like the most absurd things.
Yes. Okay. So let's say you are going nuts, you're having fun, you say the most absurd thing. At one point, the person that you're with needs to chime in. Like it's like they ask a question about like, oh, well, what were you thinking when you proposed to her? And you can absolutely not answer that question. Do you wait for your partner to say something, or do you help your partner and be like, oh, he's just like jet lagged or something, don't worry, you know what I mean? Like just like make an excuse for like how their timidness.
Yeah, that's so funny. See, this is where like I don't think I'm like quick enough of a thinker on the spot. Like I think I would have to hedge.
Yeah.
I think I would have to be like, oh, it was so long ago. Like,
yeah.
Oh, it was a whirlwind. I kind of blacked out. Like that type of stuff. Like I think I would have to hedge a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause like, and also like, again, it's night. You're like, people are drinking and it's like, oh, there's probably like whenever you're retelling a story, there's always details that like you're gonna miss or whatever. And like there's also like kind of the anxiety of just talking to a person and all that stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Totally.
Okay. So
That's
whether or not you would get free drinks, here's the thing. Our bartender is very torn. They don't know if you are telling the truth or not. Yeah. But they are going to say, yes, you are telling the truth. You would be successful in getting free drinks based on a standard that I came up with that means nothing. I wish you all of the happiness in your fake marriage.
No, what I think the hardest part is I feel like a lot of people don't give out freebies anymore.
I know. Yeah. And it's like, like, I understand, like, I guess I went to Disneyland last year and, like, it was like, "Oh, if it's your birthday, you can get in for free," you know, and it was like, oh, like, there was all this stuff, like, you could get a sticker and this and that, and then, like, it's like, no one's doing it anymore because you know what it is? Everyone's lying. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, yeah. It's true. Everyone's trying to take advantage. I
Mhm.
think okay, so fun friend night out is, I
Mhm.
think, the best time to do this. But if you are truly trying to scam the system,
Yeah.
like, what are you doing? Like, I think mine would be like trying to get like upgraded plane like seats.
Ooh.
Like, I want to like
Yeah.
move to first class.
Yeah, that's a good one. So I remember when I was in high school, like all we would do would just be to go to diners, you know, like that was like the only thing we could do. And there was this one diner called like Perkins Diner or whatever. And it was like the one place where if it was your birthday, you would get a free cake and all of the wait staff would like come and be like, happy birthday, you know,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yes.
So we would go every week with, or like people, there were constantly kids there all the time making up that there was a birthday. So one night I was there with like my friends and their like group of friends, and I was like, we gotta do the free birthday cake, come on guys. And like they would, like, you could tell that all of like there was like a like crisis going on in the kitchen, like the servers were having such a shit night, and I was like, where's our birthday cake? It's our friend's birthday. And then like to have to see these angry servers being like coming in very grumpy and being like, happy birthday, 1 2 3 4 or whatever. And I felt so guilty about it. And that was like the biggest scam I ever
You
did.
ever did.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess like it really works when you wouldn't have ID, like when you're young enough that you wouldn't really have ID on you.
Yeah, or just like you don't know the consequences. Like I didn't realize that those servers
Yeah.
were like pissed off until like I was thinking about that memory maybe 3 years ago, and I'm like, oh yeah,
so
we
funny.
were real. That was like real shitty. I'd be so fucking pissed off, and like but when you're 17, it is so fucking funny.
It's so funny. No, I know. That's just, I feel like, teenage shenanigans.
I
Like,
know.
we did the same stuff. Like,
Of
truly.
course, yeah.
Yeah.
And like if I think about like teenagers now doing something, I like the level of anger I would feel. I'd be like, that is like kids like light off fireworks in my neighborhood all the time, and I'm just like, this is so disrespectful.
It's
You're doing it.
irresponsible.
It's
Yeah.
irresponsible. But then like if you told 17-year-old me that someone was like, hey, I love lighting fireworks in the middle of the night, I'd be like,
I'd be
will
like,
you
let's
go out with me?
Yeah,
Can I
no,
come?
literally. I'm like, when are we doing that? Like,
yeah.
that's so fair.
And it's like, where's
I
that
know.
change? Yeah, but it's fun to scam. It's fun to scam and prank.
It's fun
I
to
guess.
scam. It's so fun to scam.
Mhm.
I think I would feel bad. Did they get the free drinks? Did the couple buy them around, or was it the bartender that gave them around?
I think that the bartender gave them a round, but the couple was so fascinated because they kept making up a story of like, I worked for the CIA and she worked in the mines and we did a first dance together, and they got the free beignets, you know, in Cafe
Right.
du Monde previous.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, because I think if I'm scamming like a big corporation, whatever.
Yeah.
If I'm at a Chili's, like
Totally. Oh my God, totally. Or like if it's like, yeah, like you're at like Cheesecake Factory or something,
Yes.
and you're literally dining with the CEO of Cheesecake Factory, and he thinks that you should feel entitled, or like you should feel lucky that you're dining with that person. I would scam the hell out of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know what, this movie, like, speaking of all of this too, I do feel like I'm like, I need to get up to more shenanigans.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Like, I
yeah.
really do. Like,
Because like I think that's like honestly like what's fun in a lot of Emily Henry books. Like my favorite Emily Henry book is Funny Story. And
yes.
that to me I think is so genius. And like even like just them going kayaking and getting stoned. I'm like, this is cool.
100%. I know. I do feel like that is some, like, when you're talking about these like memories and stuff like that, I do think there is some inner child work that we could do by
Mm-hmm.
more shenanigans and more like activities we did as a like that is like I would be howling. I would be crying. I was laughing so hard if I was
Mm-hmm.
doing that.
Yes,
I need more
for
of
sure.
that.
Yeah. We need like a place for adults to be shithead. Like where adults are allowed to be really shitty and like mess and like play pranks and do jokes and be childish and like not have to face any like serious criminal consequences.
I think that's why Poppy liked vacation so much, because I do think one of the like free passes, and I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
this in air quotes, is like when you're on vacation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And it's like when you're on vacation, I think a bit obviously a major theme of the movie is like when you're on vacation, you can be someone else, you know?
Yes,
And so
yes.
like you were kind of like when you're playing a prank on vacation, like, you know, you can like no one's gonna like look you up, you know, they have no idea who you are, you know. So it's like a lot more
Totally.
fun to kind of like adjust the truth and all this stuff. So yeah.
Totally, totally,
Mm-hmm.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's like a nice little goal for 2026.
I think so. Just more hijinks, more shenanigans, antics,
Yeah.
jokes,
And
pranks,
yes.
antics.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like these low level, easy to do, no
Yes.
planning, just off the
Yes.
cuff. Let's
Mm-hmm.
practice some improv skills.
Totally. Like, I mean, this is what, like, honestly, like, this is what we take improv for. We don't, not everyone's going to be on SNL, but everyone's going to have an opportunity to scam.
100% scam an old couple on their honeymoon.
Exactly. Get free drinks. Come on. Yes. And heighten and explore, you know?
Totally. No, I feel that. Like, I really do feel that. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's check back in.
Yes, yes, that should be our New Year's. Like, honest, I don't do New Year's resolutions, but
Me
this, I
neither.
think, if it's more shenanigans, hands down, I'm gonna do it.
I just think it's a good mindset. Like, I think
Mm-hmm.
one of the like actual like morals of this story that I find is like obviously it's like communicate to people who
Sure.
you love and
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
don't hold stuff in and all of that stuff. Deal with your childhood trauma.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the actual morals of this story was just like bringing a vacation mindset into real life, and like
Mm-hmm.
some of that just like silliness
Yes.
of Poppy.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of it was annoying, but some of it I'm
Sure.
like, I want to take this like as I like that she didn't take stuff so seriously.
Totally. Totally. Because, like, I think like something that like you know, as you get older and older, like you kind of lose the value of play, and you think that like
Yes.
it's irresponsible to play.
Yes.
There's no moment to play, and it's constantly being shat upon, like whether it's like, "Oh, you're not taking this seriously," or "Oh, act your age," or like, "Oh, like read the room," or whatever the issue is. And so I think like as we get older, we like tamp down our need of play, and we all just want to play.
100%. I completely agree. Like I do think that some of that should be brought back. Like I think about all the coloring I do with my students, like at events and stuff, like even if
Mm-hmm.
it's like just for like the low sensory space or whatever, like
Totally.
like
Yeah.
at my events and stuff like that, it's like the thrill that gives people
Mm-hmm.
is, or
Mm-hmm.
like I'm in like a rec badminton league, just going to an elementary
Yes.
school and playing around in the gym is like, yeah. But I want more. I want
Mm-hmm.
Poppy level hijinks.
Yes. Yeah. Like yes. Like rom-com poppy level hijinks. Totally.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Speaking about future hijinks, what Emily Henry book are you excited that's going to be adapted?
Yes. Number one, I actually think my favorite is Book Lovers,
Mm-hmm.
but I actually think in terms of the adaptation, I'm actually most excited for Funny Story because of like the small town. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I guess Book Lovers has that too, but for some reason, like like the kayaking, the lemonade stand, like all of that just seems the prom.
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think that will be good to see.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Book Lovers does have like the camping scene and stuff.
Yeah. I think I just like funny story I love because it did kind of remind me of like this is what happens to the ex in a friends to lovers romance when the ex is done, and like this is their story now, and I'm like, yeah, they deserve a happily ever after. And it's like, oh, that's why it was like this story is so genius, and I think it makes for a really good rom-com premise. We shall see. I'm sure it'll be fine though. I'm sure I'll love it.
I think so too. Yeah, it's so funny because when I read the synopsis for Funny Story, I was like, oh, this seems so fake.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that she wrote it, I was like, I could actually see this happening, which I like. And correct me if I'm wrong, Book Lovers is the one that Emily has written the screenplay. Like she's doing the adaptation.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
I believe. Mm-hmm. So, and then I think Yulin Kwang, who did this one, is doing Funny Story. Or it might be swapped. That might be swapped. But I think we're in good hands. Like I am excited for all of the adaptations, and like this one, I think a few things missed the mark. But I do think also this is not my favorite Emily Henry movie. So for me, I'm like, if this is the dummy to get like really like even more high quality content, I'm okay with losing this one. Like
yes, 100%. I am like so with you on that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for discussing this movie with me.
Thanks for having me.
Like, oh, you are welcome. Next time there's an Emily Henry adaptation, you're going to come back on. We need to give our 2 cents, and we need to and also do hijinks, in the meantime.
I'm truly going to hold you to that and hold myself to that, because I think, again, like, I think that was like one of my major takeaways from this. And like, I think it's good you don't always have to have it, but I think it's fun to have like a real world lesson in movies like this or books. And a lot of it usually is like, be vulnerable, talk to your partner, communicate.
Yeah.
Let go of your fears and like stuff like that. So it's like, it's fun.
Yeah.
Like, we know all of that.
We know.
So.
My God.
This one's a little easier to incorporate into our lives.
Totally. It is like we have goals that are doable, So lessons that are very learnable.
Totally.
Well, Torry, thank you so much for coming back on the show. Tell us where we can find you. Plug your Ready to Be Petty and Ready to Be Romance podcasts, everything.
Thank you. You can hear Ready to Be Romance, my romance novel review podcast, anywhere you find podcasts. I'm at Ready to Be Romance on socials. And then you can find Ready to Be Petty, which covers pop culture news and celebrity gossip, over on Patreon, patreon.com/RTBP podcast.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning into Too Stupid to Live. I hope the rest of your day is full of shenanigans. 'Cause I just can't make my eyes behave. Hello, romance readers. If you're looking for your next read and feel inspired by some of the books we've covered on Too Stupid to Live, be sure to check out TSTL's very own storefront on bookshop.org. Here, you will find a collection of books that the show has covered, as well as personal recommendations from me, Becky Feldman, the host of TSTL, who is talking to you right now. So rest assured, you don't need to worry about remembering titles or author names or having to go back into the episode catalog. Just head to bookshop.org/shop/TSTL podcast to view a collection of the books that the show has covered. That's bookshop.org/shop/TSTL podcast. Happy reading.